last 7 days, we've seen 270 pieces, 260 pieces. 4 of the 10 70-point performances in NBA history have come in the past year. And it's got Hall of Famer Paul Pierce wondering what happened to the game he loves. So on Friday, he tweeted this. Damn, I miss defense in the NBA, defense with a capital D. So Nuggets coach Mike Malone
echoed... your lips. Sorry.
Nuggets coach Mike Malone echoed those sentiments before the Sixers-Nuggets game. He told us the following. He said, there's no defense in the NBA anymore, adding that it's getting harder and harder to offend elite guys and that rules favor offense. So let's play a game of facts or cap.
Who said this? The coach of
the Nuggets, Mike Malone.
Of the Nuggets.
Of the world champion, reigning world
champion.
The
guy who
Nuggets.
is hard to guard and is eating everybody up, and he wants to complain about, got it, okay.
So we're gonna play a game of facts or crap. Sure, I'm gonna ask y'all a question, and you tell me if it's facts or if it's cap, okay? The NBA needs to bring back old school defensive rules. Facts or cap?
Facts.
Okay. And why is that?
But you should, I ain't playing the NBA. I'm just going off of what I watch.
You are a knowledgeable basketball expert, and you see the game.
Yeah, I don't know about to me, when you say rule, I'm just talking, what I remember from back in the day when defense was like real. Like there were moments you could just knock somebody on their ass. There was no foul call. Like you could guard somebody. You could get up in their space. There was not this, now it's all about freedom of movement. You can't hand check. You can't put a hand. No, you shouldn't be able to hold them. But if I want to guard you and get in your space, I should be able to touch you and be a little physical with you.
So prison rules.
I don't know. I ain't never been to prison, so.
Right. Yeah. They got no rules.
No.
Jail.
But I do. I feel like it's.
Prison and jail are not the same.
I feel like defense has gotten softer. I'll put it that way.
Kenyon, NBA needs to bring back old school defensive rules. Facts.
Huh? What you looking at over there?
It's cap, but y'all know the way I feel about it, right? Because guys are really good right now, right, offensively. And no, I don't think it's just individual pride, man. Like, so that's, like, it has nothing to do with schemes and all that at times, man. It's individual pride. I go back to, like I was talking about the other day, about being up on the pick and roll and certain things like that. Dog, that's knowledge of the game and individual pride. And you get that, the knowledge of the game, by watching games and watching film and studying and shit, and knowing guys' tendencies and habits, because that's what it is. Just paying attention to shit. Small things that guys, tell signs with guys doing certain moves and these guys are good. They working on the same moves every fucking time they're in the gym to perfect them. And they coming out here and they doing these same moves on y'all like they in the gym working out with nobody in front of them. Like they got the coach in there in front of them. That's why they guarding them in the NBA. Like this, we working on our game in here, and I'm gonna come off, I'm a hezzy, I'm going left, and the dude just standing there like he playing token defense on him and let him go left. Like it's the constant same shit and nobody reach for the ball, nobody. It's little shit that, I ain't asked for much.
So do you feel like guys aren't watching enough? There's not enough film study going on.
They in the motherfucking, in their apartment with their fucking VR headset on, goddamn playing goddamn Call of Duty and all that other shit, and yeah, Lord knows what else they doing, man, but they ain't paying attention to the game. They're too busy shooting threes and motherfucking Euros and all this dumbass finishes that they never gonna get a chance to do in the game, right? Instead of working on foot speed drills and shit like that and ladders and paying attention if he got, I got to guard Embiid, what is his favorite move? Or I got to guard Jason Tatum, what does he really like to do? So I'm not gonna stop him, but if he averaging 30, my goal, you're not scoring 30 tonight, bruh. You're just not. Like, you're not getting your average.
So
that's my goal.
Do you put any of the blame on the coaches?
Because they don't demand it. They scared to go in the film section and roast one of them motherfuckers. Like they just not gonna do it.
Depending on who it is.
I don't give a fuck who it is.
No, I'm saying with the coaches, it depends on who it is.
But I don't think they put an emphasis on it. They're not a single individual film session. If we went out there and we were bad defensively and there was a guy just constantly getting cooked, and I'm asking you questions and like tell me what's the problem, why you did this, why you guarding it, like, and I'm focused in on you today, and motherfuckers around there like, shh, it ain't gonna be me tomorrow, right? Yeah. If somebody call you out in their way, right? Mm-hmm. And it's about effort and shit like that, and it's on film, and they slowing it down, and you're the focal point of this film session. I'm saying you got to cuss him out and do nothing, but you asking questions and you making it.
For sure.
You making it a thing. Don't nobody else want that feeling in the room. I don't want to be called out and I'm the only one that's getting it that day. When it's on the film that I was bad. Mm-hmm. And we all see it. We all like, man, he was cooking your ass. Like that's what we thinking.
So I know, because I know Gil's gonna respond. So do you think offense is that much better?
It is.
Or defense is that
It's both.
bad?
It's both.
100 times better.
It's both.
Offense is
Offense is
better.
Offense is much
Million
better
times
than
better.
way better than it's ever been. Way better.
Or individual players.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Way better. Spacing, guys shooting, everything is way better offensive than it's ever been. I'm on that train. I'm on that train. I'm riding with everybody. The game has evolved. Guys are much
it
better.
absolutely has.
Guys are much better. They're
Defense
taller, stronger, faster, jump higher.
Okay.
All these things exist with the game.
Shouldn't that
Nobody wants to play
benefit the
defense.
defensive side
It
too, though?
should, because if you put the same effort into it,
When does
then you
effort-
do your.
But nobody wants to play
Yeah.
defense.
Okay, how many
Same
times
effort.
have we went to a gym or just a park in this universe, and we seen defensive players out there working on their actual
You
defense?
don't.
You don't, right? You don't. So
Because it's pride.
if I'm a think, yeah. So if your pride is not gonna beat me if I'm spending hours every day in the summer. So if I'm spending 100
talking-
hours in the summer working on my talent and my skill, your pride is meaningless. Because
I'm
there's
not
nothing
gonna
you're
stop
doing to
you, though.
enhance
Like I said,
yours.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm not. So once again, I'm just gonna keep bringing it. I'm not saying guys are gonna stop these guys. That ain't what I'm asking. Individual pride is.
That means nothing.
Yes, it does.
But it does.
Okay.
So-
No, but it does.
And
if this
knowledge
was
of the game, right? So it's the clip. So we're gonna talk about it right now. Anyway, the other day you saw the Pat Beverly, Paul Reed clip, right? They playing Paul Reed back on the pick and roll, right? Pat Bev like, no, I don't need you here. I need you here. I don't need you here. I need you here. That takes a little effort and pride and knowledge of the game, like not to be back on the pick and roll, right? It's a different look. I ain't saying that I'm gonna stop you from scoring, but I'm giving my effort and okay, I'm gonna be up on the pick and roll now, right? Instead of giving you this space where you can go this way, you can snake the pick and roll, there's less options if I'm up on the pick and roll. That's all I'm saying. So
and at least make it tougher.
yeah, so that's that, because you're so good, right? With the ball in your hand, I'm at your disposal, right? So my thing is in defense is being proactive instead of reactive. If I'm up on the pick and roll, I'm dictating the terms now on where you.
That's a pick and roll.
Right? And that's all. So in certain situations, but one-on-one, guys is ISO, right? Boom, boom, going into your thing. I'm not gonna sit back and watch you just play with the ball. Boom, 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 boom. Now you, right? I'm gonna stick my hand in that motherfucker, right? You'll handle. You're gonna have to, oh shit, I can't cross this bitch no more right here. I made you do something.
How many?
That's all I'm saying.
How many elite defenders like
Yeah,
you
none.
played
Yeah.
in our era?
Yeah.
One or two,
It's a few.
right? So
a
that's
few.
one or two. So that means if it's we're talking about elite in their position, right? One or two or three in that power forward position. That means the rest are just mediocre, right? Same thing and guards. You probably have 2 or 3 guys that are elite. Other than that, the rest of you guys are trash in a sense, individually.
Yeah.
So if we take every generation, right? You have a guy that destroyed the league, right? You had a single guy that there was nothing you did, he destroyed you guys. So when you say somebody like Allen Iverson, there was no one man that guarded Allen,
True.
right? So Allen, in the hardest of NBA defense, the early two, he's giving you 30, right? Now you look at the players on his team, their lack of skill actually helped the defense.
Yeah.
Right? Their lack of skill. I don't need to guard you. I'm going to
Yeah.
help, and we're all 5 of us are just going to look. And he still walked through all of us. Right? Everybody's pride was there. He still walked through it. Now you add shooters on his team.
How do you know everybody's pride was there?
Because it's one guy. We don't have to. If we're going to win this game, if we can stop him. These guys are not. They're non and void. They're useless.
Agree.
Now when you add other players that can play basketball and score with Allen, then it becomes unstoppable. That's what the game is like. Back when I played, you had 2.5 scores. 80s 1.5, right? 90s 1.5, or 90s a full 2. If you had a full 2 guys who can score the ball, you was a good team, right? In our era, 2.5. You got a guy, we got a 30-pointer or 19, and you got a guy who got 15. Y'all got a good team. Now, if you got a guy like I had a big 3 where all of us was pretty good, then we got a little 2, right? That little 2 kind of hurt us sometimes because nobody's guarding them 2. Today's game, you got 4 guys who can put the ball in the basket.
Yes.
So it becomes harder on defensive schemes when you have more guys who can do the same thing. So if I do pass and you double me and I pass it and he can actually put the ball in the basket, the guy who's doubling starts like, I can, because I don't want my guy to outdo me.
I agree with all of that, but I still go back to his point. And maybe it's because I'm just a little different when it comes to defense. I know you're like, your pride ain't gonna stop me. I don't disagree. I don't agree with that because I was just that player that was like, listen, to his point, you got to study the game. You got to study your opponents, know what they like to do. Even Luka has a weakness. What is it? If you're not watching film and you're not studying, you don't know that. But for me, it was all about, okay, this is who my matchup is going to be primarily tonight. I know what she does well. I know what she can't do. This is how I'm going to guard her. And after somebody gave me 20 points, I'm like, you know what? Nah. Because my pride won't let me live with somebody giving me 50.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to make sure you don't get 21. Wow. But my thing is like, even you got 6 fouls, use them. So instead of him having
that's why they shooting 20 free throws also.
But there has to be a point where somebody says, I think right now the game has gotten to a point where guys rely so much on help. So when are you gonna have enough pride to get in front of your man and guard him one-on-one?
Yeah, he's doing the same moves every time.
No doubt.
That's the.
He ain't that quick.
But
I'm not saying it wasn't a great performance because it was a great performance.
Absolutely.
It was a hell of a performance.
But
it's But what I'm saying is, it's delusion.
And you're making way too much money to not have pride to guard somebody.
Back in the 90s, what was the offense compared to the defense? What 55, 45? Right? Defense kind of, right? You had more defensive players than you had offensive players back when it started.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
more offensive players started coming in. So what changed in the defense of concepts since it was created? Nothing. Right? Below the free throw line, we're going to push you over the pick and roll. We got the same. It's the same concepts we went through. Is the same, but the only thing that's changed is the move. There's 100 more moves that these guys have versus then. But it's the same concepts of defense. So the defense of strategies has not evolved. So you still have the same. Back then, it was, you have a rock offense, I have a pistol. Yeah, I'm going to keep beating you in this war. Then you got a pistol, kind of even. Now you got a bazooka. Like the defense is not equipped. They have the same concept. Below the free throw line, we're gonna do this. Pick and roll, we're gonna. The only thing that came up now is switch. But there's no new concept of defense. So when offense is sitting there, you got your hand out here. All right, I'm gonna use that. They start giving you foul. Then they say, okay, we're gonna take that away from you, right? All right, pump fake, you jump. I'm gonna jump into you. Then it's like, okay, offense, we're gonna take that away from you. Then it was you're in the lane, or I'm just gonna run into you. Then it was like, all right, just defense, just jump straight up. So the rules that they keep saying that they're changing it because the offense is. Remember the 0 step? There was no year roll. All these new moves are for the defense. I'm watching how Kenyon plays defense. I'm watching Pat Bev does this. All right, so I get to train working on Pat Bev's mannerisms. Pat Bev is not working on my mannerisms in the summer, on how to stop me. I remember what he did. I go into the summer, I do a whole game. Okay, when I go this way, he jumps like this. Okay, when he jumps like this, because he likes to lift off this arm, I'm a pump fake, get him off the ground. The offense is practicing. They're sitting with the rule book. All right, if you dribble, it's 2 steps after you dribble. 2 steps after you dribble. 2 steps after. All right, so if I dribble at the same time, that's a 0. Now I got 2 steps, so it looks like I have 3, right? If I dribble the ball, they say I can't palm it under. If I let it float while I'm going, it looks like a carry, but they said under. So I get to move with the ball. We're learning. We're learning from the rule book. The defense is not. So, take the Lakers, right? We take that Laker, which was the first super team that I don't know why they used LeBron's team, but it was the Lakers 03-04 team where you had Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Carmelo, and you had Devin George, right? Devin George. Ooh, I know who we're going to leave. We're going to leave Devin George, right? We're going to leave Gary Payton. They can't shoot the ball. You have Kobe and Shaq, but these two can't actually shoot the ball. So I'm not picking Gary Payton up at the goddamn half court. The fuck he gonna do back there? I'm not picking Gary Payton up at the 3-point line. What he gonna do there? Devin George, when he get the ball, back up. What he gonna do? Kobe Bryant was the only shooter, and he only made 1 3 a game. Right? Other than that, everybody made under. So what we do is that we're just gonna pack that. Say everybody guard Shaq. When Kobe just drives, we're just gonna all be here. So yeah, it looks like there's better defense because we're not guarding 2 of these players. No matter who you sub in.
I don't know if that looks like it's better defense. It looks like it's smarter defense.
Yeah, smarter. But now what happens? What happens if you're so used to sitting in the lane, packing it up? Now you got Dame Leonard who can shoot from damn near half court.
Then you gotta go. Then you have to switch up your defense.
So that's what I'm saying.
But it's because not you in particular, but it's because you know your personnel. You know who's coming in the game. You know what Devin Booker can do. You know what Gary Payton can and can't do. You know what Paul George can do. So it's, to his point again, a lot of the guys just are like, you know what? I'm going to just go out here, I'm going to play, and if I can shut them down, I shut them down. If I don't, I don't.
They did that
to
then.
y'all point, right?
They did that then.
Like to everything that we're saying here, right? I've always thought this in watching the Golden State Warriors play. Before KD, when they started winning, before KD got there, after KD was there, right? Like I said the other day about Nurkic, right? He would have to become Wilt Chamberlain out that motherfucker. I've always thought it, right? Draymond would have to listen, Draymond would have been, if we was gonna win it, Draymond Green would have been the MVP of fucking 4 finals. If I'm coaching the other team's defense, Draymond Green would have been MVP. God damn, Draymond nice. He and that motherfucker just laying that bitch up. Because I'm not going for none of them splits. I'm backing up all the way in the paint. I'm playing, listen, man, we switching we doing certain things, but I'm not guarding Draymond. If he get the ball in a certain situation, I'm not guarding Draymond. He gonna have the wide open layups.
Yeah.
I mean, walk to the basket, wide the fuck open layups. Just not gonna guard him in a certain situation. Where 30 coming off at? If I'm going Draymond, I'm gonna go find 30.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna be playing a boxing, listen,
Yeah.
a boxing one out this bitch, triangling two,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna leave him open. Unfortunately.
But if you're giving up 60 points, you're still giving up 60 points.
But the other
Just
dude
giving it
ain't.
to another motherfucker.
No, but it ain't threes though. But the threes is what's the backbreakers in this shit. Right? When Steph get that thing going.
Take my chances with
Right.
that.
When Steph get that thing going.
No, it's gonna hurt.
When Clay get it going, Steph get it going. That's what carried him. Right?
Yeah, but you're giving them 60 points still. It's just,
And
where's
if Draymond
pride
get
in
the
giving
ball
them
at the
60
top of
points
the
to
key,
sorry
right?
ass
He
record?
not
If
gonna-
Draymond bringing the ball up the floor, right? He's getting the rebound. He bringing that bitch to the floor. I am turning my back on Draymond Green.
Dang, just like that.
That's just where I'm gonna tell him I gotta go guard. That's all. I'm gonna turn my back and I'm gonna look for 30.
But that's what I'm saying. But
That's all.
No
but that's
doubt
what I'm
about
saying.
that one.
But back then, there was no Draymond Green bringing the ball up.
It's not. I'm talking about like.
But I'm just saying in theory, there was no Horace Grant, like you power
Yeah.
forward. You ain't got to worry about the Horace Grant.
Yes.
Horace Grant ain't doing
Offensive
nothing like
rebound,
that.
you gonna knock down two, three,
Dennis
15
Rodman
footers.
coming down the court trying to make offense.
Yeah, not at all,
Bring
not
your
at all.
dumb ass down
Not at
here
all.
with
I'm
your
with
booty
you.
shorts.
Yeah.
Let's play some defense.
So, Gil, the NBA needing to bring back old school defensive rules, facts or cap?
It's cap.
Cap.
It's cap.
Because we don't know what those rules are, right? Like, okay, if defense was so good back then, how come when you look at the top scoring teams, it's all back then?
Yeah.
When you're talking about scoring 125 a game and all, that's back then. That's not today. That's back then. Teams, the
You
Denver
said scoring 125 points a game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of the
So
top.
teams aren't scoring 120
No, they are.
points a game
Okay,
today?
so out of the top 20 all-time scoring teams, there's not. You got 17 from 1960, so 15, 14,
I don't know.
14 teams from the 60s, and then 4 from the 80s, 1 from the 90s. There's 2 right now that are active, and that's today's team is Pacers and the Bucks. Today, that means last year, no.
Yeah,
They didn't, no.
yeah.
So the 2 teams this year are breaking the top 20. Other than that, it's back then. And the
You got
problem,
Thunder in the mix as well.
and the problem with this is,
They was putting that bitch in the basket.
when was the 3-point line created?
79-80, I believe it was introduced.
79-80. So that means teams that were scoring 125 in the 60s and the 70s are all late. What the fuck was the defense?
Yes.
If I can score 125 points on layup.
Twos and free throws.
You see what I mean? Like
Middies.
that's why I said the theory of what they
No,
said.
there were great offensive players back then.
Fucking
There was no
middies,
pride.
man.
Where's the pride?
They had pride,
Where's the
too,
pro-
but
where's
there was great offensive players back then too.
No, but you couldn't stop the one dude that's trying to score 30. You know where he's coming. There's no 3-point line.
Oscar Robertson and Alexander was cooking.
We just gonna wall up everybody.
But then, like, to the old school rules, like the hand check and all that shit, like, you can still do certain things. Like, you just can't leave your hand on the motherfucker. That's all. He bring the ball up the court. I just can't leave my hand on you.
But as I said, the hand check is still there.
I'm gonna make you turn your back.
The hand check is still there. See, the thing about it, if you watch 80s basketball, if you actually watch it, and then you say, all right, I'm gonna look for hand checking, you will not see the hand check that they have in their mind, right? You're gonna see Mark Jackson get a hand check because he's coming down. He's coming down the
him and
court with his
Magic.
back because he couldn't burn. I'm
and
just gonna
Magic
come
both.
down. So he's all right. Where you going? But back then, when you have a 5-man, right? Think about it. 5-man, I have to pass the ball to the 5. So that means I got to come to the side. Obviously, most of the right-handers want this side, so I got to sit here, and then he's pressuring me. Now I got to turn my back. Now he got the hand check. He want to keep me in the corner, right? They got the shooting guard got to go set a pick. He got to come on over. I got to dump it on down. Like obviously, you can control me because I got to wait for all this shit to happen, and I can't drive because I got to give the ball to the 5-man.
Shit.
That was easier
Dump
to
it on
do
down.
versus, think about it, where was the hand check when Isaiah Thomas was playing? Same hand, but he didn't have a 5-man to pass it to. He's coming downhill. You can't hand check somebody who's
Not at
facing
all.
you. right? Then when evolution of those guards, the Tim Hardaways, the Penny Hard, once they started scoring, the Allen Iverson, the hand check was irrelevant because these guys didn't have 5 men. So when you go below the free throw line, they still got a hand check. Below the free throw line, there's still a hand check. It should get back.
Swipe that shit off.
Just swipe this fuck out there. Like, think about it. If you come in full speed at me and I tried to hand check you like this, you're gonna run right through that.
And that's a
you might break my wrist.
No,
that's a fact.
Right?
sure.
And so that's why I really didn't mean anything. The only thing that happened is as soon as you get by me and I'm just gonna.
Did you say that's a foul?
You run full speed at somebody?
You run a full.
No, it should be.
Yeah, break your wrist. So you're gonna. And then you're gonna try to hold on me on the side, and then if I have a big Kenyon, you ready? Hey, Kenyon, ready? Ready? Charge. That's
So,
offensive foul.
so when it
Well,
comes to
not
the
me.
NBA needing to bring back old school defensive rules, survey says.
Stop the cap.
All right,
I wouldn't take no charges.